And here we are for the women's Shield semi-final, Shane Lennon and Rosalie McGowan. And we have Boston in blue against ARPTC in white. And we've just started. And Boston making slow progress down the field. And it is a throw-in for Boston. No, for ARPTC. So, Rosalie, any players here you know that we maybe should be watching out for?
Yeah, I'd keep an eye on Boston's number 12, Paige. She came up through the Boston area rugby scene. She also has been a part of the Northeast Academy. She also played hockey in college, so she's athletic and also rugby smart. On the Boston side, there's Dean Nash. I'd also keep an eye out on her. I can't quite see her jersey number.
So ARPTC breaking up the middle, and that is, I believe, number 2, Paige Kirshe. Though it is number 12, Amanda Reeling, and she is almost gone 3/4 of the length of the field here.
She has good support running by the white.
And it is a penalty to ARPTC. That is great attack. Take it quickly, looking for the gap, pushing through, looking for that line almost there.
Held up by 2 Boston
Good defense
players.
by Boston.
Yep.
And they sneak in. Good try.
Little Gregan right there off the side.
Yes. So, yeah, big believer in that on the blind side, particularly close to the line. A lot of defenses get caught there, either overcommit or they're not really watching it. And we are 5-0 for ARPTC. Difficult conversion out close to the sideline. Any expectations from these sides, Rosalie?
I mean, ARPTC is in a unique position because they've qualified 2 sides for nationals, and Boston's coming off of a tough loss this morning. So it really, I mean, both these teams want it and they need it to be able to advance.
So that was a missed conversion. We're at 5-0. Just 2 minutes almost played. ARPTC to kick off. That is Anderson for ARPTC. Good long kick. Put the pressure immediately back in Boston. Good catch by Boston. From Race. Goes out wide. Ball good in hands. A little bit of space now on the outside. Looking for support. Ball goes to ground. Comes across the field. Again, somebody looking for a little bit of space. Nice pass into the gap.
Boston looking to go back the same way. Penalty called. Okay.
Quick penalty. Like that from Boston. Really aggressive on the ball.
Couple of wild throws, and
that's just a slight bit forward.
Just, it looked like maybe there was a strong breeze that could have carried that, perhaps.
So at ARPTC, the number 2, Grossi, and 12, Reeling. A lot of play seems to be working through both of them. I've noticed they're looking for gaps up around the middle of the field, working between the 2 15s. Boston, a little bit more expressive, side to side. Interesting, slightly different platforms for both teams. Nice little switch.
Switched right back into the tackler, though. Now it looks like they're attempting to keep her up.
That goes to ground, and it is going to be scrum to Boston.
2 scrums in only maybe 45 seconds, 30 seconds. That's a lot of forward work right there.
Yeah. Going to be a little bit of tired. It's interesting to see. I think some subs are going to make a difference actually in this game in the second half. Yep. Both teams having hard work. It's getting a little bit warm now here in New York.
Boston puts it in, out the back, misplayed, recovered.
Well recovered by number 10. Got the ball nicely back. A little bit of space here.
Just heading up
Not
the right side.
quite the speed. Ball goes loose. I believe that is a scrum to ARPTC, not forward. And I make that the 3rd or 4th scrum in this half already.
Yes, agreed.
you don't see, as I've noticed actually, a little bit more scrums and phase play in this. Teams kicking for touch, maybe not as much as they normally do.
It's also their 5th game of the tournament over 2 days, and they're going to end up playing 6. So maybe it's strategy and/or conservation of energy.
ARTPC trying to get the ball wide here. Ball goes to ground. We have a minor injury, hopefully. Player down.
Both teams backing up, giving space.
We're just about a minute to go in this half. Again, ARTPC are leading by 5. Play has been played pretty much between the 222s, if not actually in this half.
Boston's mainly been on the defensive, and I don't think they've yet to crack the 22, the attacking 22. So it'd be nice to see that.
They started nicely and aggressively, but ARTPC seem to have their structure, and it's wearing them down. 2 good programs here, obviously well coached, a lot of potential, good to see. Any of these players you're aware of that are getting close to representative level yet? Or?
So I was also looking over the Boston roster. We've got Lisa Van Aert. She's also also experienced time in the Northeast Academy, which is our corner of the world. It's one of the Olympic Development Academies. So very cool that Boston has at least 3 players that I can identify that are playing at that level, and that's this first step into getting recognized or acknowledged towards the national team pool. In terms of the American Pro side, that's the entire goal of that particular program, is for women to move to Arkansas, train full time, and try and get a look. So
it's great to see these programs. I mean, having grown up originally in Dublin and was there when they started the Leinster Academy, we all had a kind of what's this about, and now we know it's many years later. It takes a lot of time, but it's a machine. It just keeps producing, and I think obviously you have thousands of players playing, but there's usually 200 or 300 in every country that step up, and they need to be guided through, and these academies provide that service, and it's great to see.
Yeah, it's really been helpful to know and have a streamlined pathway to know if you would like to self-select and put yourself out there, that this is the way to go, one of the ways to go.
And I think too with the academies, what I like is you got a lot of players coming a little later into the game, not necessarily playing it in their teens. So you got experience set up. You've got a number of coaches who can pull players aside one-on-one. So somebody needs a little bit of passing work or just technique work, and the academies fill that in. And some down the leagues that's a little tougher, because many times it's just the one coach, often covering a full, if not 1 or 2 squads.
That's true. Put into to American White. Ball's been lost backwards. Player attempts to kick and boggles it. A little weird. Whistle is blown. Injured player was able to come off the field with assistance by 2 other associates.
So Boston to put in Markovic. ARTPC really trying to get the ball out to Hickman, the number 10. Haven't got it out yet. She looks really hungry, looking to see her get the ball in hands and what she might be able to do. Breaks out wide. Good coverage.
Ball all the way up. Here she goes,
she
up the wing.
She breaks the tackle.
She's just looking backwards.
Yes.
Ball carrier's got immediate support over. Boston gets ready to dig it out. They've got a line of 3 set up.
Boston very deep looking for it. They've got the space now.
It's going all the way.
And that is the number 15. Reese, who's been doing a lot of work around there. Well-earned try.
Very nice. All the way through the hands of each of the backline Boston players, and Reese took the outside corner and then went through to center.
And that is 5-5, and I believe we're pretty much over.
Let's see how
Not sure if the conversion still...
Let's see how this kick goes. And that was a duck. That's okay.
Okay, and we have half-time here. And it is a tie, 5-5, between ARTPC and Boston Rugby. And we will be back with you in a few minutes. Okay, and we are back for this Women's Shield semi-final between ARTPC and Boston. The game is very close here, 5-5. Both teams putting in a lot of hard work.
Boston's kicking off. They're going to be running from left to right to try and, to try and score. And ARP is going to be scoring from our right to left.
So this is a real close game here. I'm not going to ask for a prediction, but anything you'd like to see maybe a little different?
I would very much like for Boston to use the space a little bit more and put the ball to work. And I'd also like to see ARP continue to put a lot of good defensive pressure on them.
So ARP get the ball first, moving it wide, looking to bring a player into the gap. Nice idea, execution a little weak. They break out, offload.
There goes Lisa Vineyard. Yep.
And slightly forward. Love that play. Obviously a higher risk, but both teams are willing to take it. A lot of intelligence actually from ARP. They're really impressed with the passer looking to put in the person into the gap. So rather than passing to the player, passing to the gap.
Yep, we've got a scrum down just inside the 22, halfway across the field. And it's going to be ARP's defensive scrum. Offensive scrum.
Jessa Hahn for ARP.
A little basketball pass over the top there. Player catches it, is taking the ground immediately. Ball's moving through the hands left to right. Gets the second to last person. She hits that half gap.
Ball coming out. Scrum half looking.
Boston showing a solid defensive wall there with their outside 4 players. Ball swinging back across the field through the hands. Goes to the ground. Picked up off the bounce and a weird kick.
And they get a touch. Yeah. You know what? A lot under pressure. A little bit of 15s game here with ARTPC. Maybe, they're looking for that wide channel like we do in 15s. Maybe need to change it a little. Maybe push it out a little further in the field.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, was that a little bit of tiredness as much as frustration in the kick as well?
Yeah, fair enough. Now we've got a line out just between the 10-meter mark and the 22-meter mark.
ARTPC make a substitution. Nelson comes on. Tro goes over the top. Boston True looking for the gap. Oh, that absolutely beautiful pass from number 12 to 10. And simple but perfect try.
I mean, ARTPC, have been doing a good job shifting, and we've got the Boston players are getting the ball cleanly through the hands and catching and running at pace, and it's just very hard to adjust. But they got scored on up the middle, and hopefully, we'll see what adjustments are made.
And that's the conversions. That was number 12, Strapidopoulos, that gave that beautiful pass, perfectly timed. There was literally no room for error. And number 10, Nash took it, went in under the post. Excellent try. Yeah. For those of you who play in the middle of the field, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And that started off the set piece as well.
So Boston to kick off, Nash, who scored. It is 12-5, Boston. Nice kick, well taken by the number 3, Nelson. Takes it in field again. They're playing that 15-yard channel.
Got ARTPC lined up there. The last 2 players on attack are flat. Doesn't really matter right now because Boston picked it off and is now on attack.
Boston with a penalty. They're going to look to take it quickly. Move it outside. Got a player looking for the overlap on the back inside. Real smart play. Number 13 for Boston. Yachts coming through. Number 12 looking for inside step. Again, taking it in.
Everyone's going for the traffic space and traffic areas, and there's a lot of space out, even a third of the way across the field.
Got stranded a little, pass just a little behind.
Boston attack looks to get on sides.
Turned over, holding on the ground, I believe, and ARTPC to take it. They're number 9.
Having a go.
Christina looking for a go, and she's gone. Is she going to be caught?
She's gone.
This is a foot race. Both players at it. Fair play to both. And goes down. Fabulous try. Individual. Spotted it on the outside. Went to the end of the field. I think earlier you saw a couple of players looking back. I always say, you know what? If you keep your head straight forward, doesn't matter how fast they are.
Yep, just keep going. And what's really nice is the ball carrier, as he said, went coast to coast, but she started in the middle of the field, cut out wide, and then to finish her run, cut back in, even though Boston had sent a second chaser. Still got the try.
So that is 12-10. Conversion. 12 to Boston.
Practically as dead center. Just off to the side, actually.
And that goes over. That is 12-12. And we have a close game here, entering almost a 2-minute mark. This is the Women's Shield semifinal from Kraft Stadium at Columbus in New York. The sun is beginning to break out here in the clouds. We're going to have a beautiful day. The rugby standard has been excellent this morning already. And coming from Flow Rugby, this is Shane Lennon and Rosalie McGann.
Art kicks off to the left. It goes just past the 10, received by Paige. She's now running up the field. Gets tackled by one player. Another player helps. Boston maintains, digs it out, and is sending it across and up the field. Ball
nice
carrier
inside
steps.
step, yes.
Ball's gone all the way out to the last player. She fends someone off, I think, and then looks like she's around in there. Okay.
Good confidence there. I mean, I know that was a pretty over-the-top pass. You know, that center and winger knew where they were. Good lot of work, you know, basically 40 yards in. That handoff was just perfectly timed. Good return by Boston.
Yeah.
You know, coming into the last minute. They take the lead at 17-12. This game's going to be a nail-biter.
Sure is, and it was very nice to see that Boston did have the opportunity to, you know, give the ball to the girl as they did with his through traffic and against the grain, or send it out wide. And, you know, they stayed with the tight passes and it worked out. And ARTPC just seemed like they were backing up a lot without actually coming forward defensively. So we'll see what adjustments they make.
So that is converted. That's 19-12 to Boston here. We're running in. I make it to maybe the last half minute or so. Boston kick deep, which is really smart. Ball goes the whole way and is in touch. That is a line out to ARPTC. This is probably close to the last play of the game, or second last play.
Got both teams setting up for the line out. There does appear to be someone near the line out area receiving some sort of medical attention. The highest quality medical attention, I would like to point out, but some sort of medical attention.
Yes, we're only a couple of blocks from Columbia Presbyterian, which is one of the best hospitals on the East Coast here. I live near it myself. My wife said they've got a great cardiac unit. I was like, is that a message?
They also have rugby players on staff over there. I've got a teammate who's over there now. Glad to know there's always rugby people around. So we've got both players being escorted off out of the playing area, and the line out is ARPTC. They're throwing.
Clean catch.
All right, they've chosen to drive forward off the line out.
Looking again for that inside and outside channels close to the line of play.
Our players are looking to have a go up the middle of the field. They've got a 3 on each side. Boston recovered it. Okay. Boston on the attack again.
Boston need to just play out the clock now.
Both teams looking a little flat, which, you know, I get it. It's the end of the game. It's tiring. Contact area.
And that is time up. And that is a great game, great competition. Boston won by 19 against ARPTC 12. And they go through to the next round, winners of the Women's Shield semifinal. And we will be back to you in a few minutes with Metropolis versus Chicago Lions in the Women's Shield semifinal. Thank you, Rosalie.
Thank you, Shane.